So today we are going to be reacting to a video that is really going to piss off the Hatelens, especially the South Carolina Hatelens. And it is Aliyah Boston talking about her favorite teammates in the WNBA. And if we're being real, I would assume the teammate who gets 3 to 4 assists per game to her is probably your favorite teammate. The teammate that, keeps giving her the ball wide open 4 feet from the basket for her to shoot those pop shots. I would assume that's your favorite teammate, because you better believe that would be anyone's favorite teammate in that scenario. But let's take a listen to Aliyah Boston.
Also going with 2. Can you guess who they are?
No.
Caitlin and Kelsey. I love those girls right there.
I knew that. I feel like you could have guessed that. I knew that, but I knew that.
I feel like you could have.
I don't know why.
I mean, if we're being real, maybe she might have said Erica Wheeler from her rookie season. Because in Wheeler's defense, Wheeler did pass the ball to her a lot. If we're being real, Wheeler passed the ball an awful lot to Aliyah Boston that rookie year. So if she said Erica Wheeler, I wouldn't even be that surprised, to be honest, because Wheeler, again, she made sure as hell to pass the ball to Aliyah Boston in that first season. What am I doing? There we go.
I was thinking college, too.
Oh, I was just thinking.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
The ironic thing is that she would probably say her favorite teammate from college was a player she played with in the W in Bree Hall.
But
you're a big girl now.
Caitlin, yeah, I am. I'm grown.
You're
up.
Grown.
Caitlin and Kelsey, those are my girls. I love those 2 so freaking much, and I love playing with them. It's crazy. So those are my 2.
And yeah, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And it's one of those things when it comes to Aliyah Boston. It's like people have tried to put Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, pit them against each other. But at the end of the day, I think when people were doing that in a basketball fit sense, it kind of made sense. But it was Aliyah who adapted. Absolutely. And I mean this when I say it. It's I don't know how confident I would be in Caitlin Clark's ability to adapt to a slow down, back to the basket system being ran through post players. I don't actually know if Caitlin could adapt to it. And look, I'm honest when it comes to Caitlin Clark's game. I think I said Aja and Fee were 1A, 1B, and someone literally came into my comments and goes, they're the best power forward. Caitlin Clark's by far the best player in the WNBA. And I'm like, I get it, she was injured last year, but Fee shot 50, 40, 90 on the 1 seed. Aja Wilson won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year at Ring, and Finals MVP in the 1 year. Caitlin Clark, in fairness, she was injured. She averaged 15 points a game on 35% shooting and 28% from 3. I think a healthy Caitlin Clark's the best guard in the league, but we're not putting her in Aja Fee conversations yet. We're just not. And I also don't know how great Caitlin Clark is going to be adapting to a system, to a slow down system. I think Caitlin, the system, is going to win multiple titles, and Aliyah Boston has completely adapted her game. And I tweeted out and I was like, something stupid, not even something stupid. I tweeted out, people aren't talking enough about how Aliyah Boston's changed everything about her game since Caitlin Clark has come into the league. I was like, she's gone from a bruiser back to the basket center to a elite face-up player. She's gotten faster. She's gotten quicker laterally. She can guard guards in the perimeter. She's gotten better in the pick and roll, better in pick and pop, become a better shooter. And people were like, it wasn't because of Caitlin Clark. It's she'd still be a bruising center. If the Indiana Fever got the 2nd pick, Aliyah Boston will be a bruising center with Cameron Brink alongside her, and they'd be playing with Camila Cardoso alongside her, and they would be playing high-low. They'd be playing the way Iowa play right now, with Aliyah working at a high post, going high-low with Cardoso. If Indiana had the number 2 pick, that is what would be happening, and Christy Sides would still be the coach, and they would still have never played a playoff game. But if we're being completely real here, it's 2 different types of players. People are taking that as a shot at Aliyah Boston. It's no, Aliyah has literally 180'd her game, and that's so impressive. It is so impressive. People like the big three. That's our trio. I really believe they love you too, Aliyah Boston, if not more. What about Bree Turner? Where does she rate, keep, or trade? Honestly, picking a team Aliyah would help get into championships. With Bree Turner, it just depends on what Bree Turner, if she comes on a minimum, I'll take her on a minimum. Like, absolutely, the 10th to 12th players don't play that much, and she's one of those if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Like, when she's playing well, she'll be in the rotation. When she's not, she'll be out of it, and she might get herself back into it. But, like, it's very clear. It's very clear that big three are big fans of each other. And, let's see, is there anything bad? Is there anything bad in the comments? Anything bad? Please sign the CBA. Like, let's be real. The CBA is going to be signed. If we're completely real, it is going to be signed. The thing is, the players show a united front. If you were to ask the players how many of them would oppose a strike, and it was off the record, it was like nothing to do with showing solidarity. Let's just say money's not a factor. I would say 80 to 90 players would oppose a strike. Especially because, let's be real, they can talk about bigger picture and getting what they're worth. But you have to take into account that there are people in the WNBA who, WNBA season and overseas combined, made under 100k last year. Who are mid-level players, by the way. These might be like mid-level players. Maybe not under 100. Let's just say maybe like 150k. Mid-level players. They're walking in to 500k if the season goes ahead. Even in the CBA in its current state, they're walking into 500k. That is 3 years or 4 years pretty much worth of their salary. They will not, there's no bigger picture and greater good women's sports. If you were going to get a 6x increase, a 4x increase in your salary from just a W, and you know what that means? You can negotiate for a higher price overseas. Or you can just sit out the season. You don't have to play. It means you can get ready for the W season. It's one of those things where players actually want there to be a season. And if the WNBPA it's just, I think the problem is with the WNBA is the WNBA realizes it's just empty threats now. They realistically know the WNBA, they've given the WNBA players way more than they initially wanted to. And it's just baseless threats now. There might be like some sort of semantics, like a kind of slight change to how the gross revenue, and if they're working off gross revenue, the percentage of gross revenue going down into like 15 to 20% max, realistically, even though I think they're trying to go 9. If they can get it to 15 to 20, even though the players aren't budging on 30, they're dumb, like they are dumbasses if they don't accept that. Especially, and if I was them, my whole thing would be to shorten the CBA. Would be to say, okay, we will accept your terms as they are right now, which is obviously like the 1.3 million max, but we have an opt-out in like 3 years because we're doing this off net revenue, not gross revenue. You guys potentially could be making 500 million a year instead of 200 million a year in 3 years. We have an opt-out at the same time as the TV deal is an opt-out, which the TV deal can be renegotiated because of the percentage of operational costs in comparison to running the league becomes different if the league brings in significant more revenue via the TV deal. So we can get a higher percentage then. Like, that's what I'd be pushing if I was a CBA, because at the end of the day, the owners, you don't become billionaires like these owners did by being dumb. They're smart. They know these players can't afford to not have a season. And by that, I mean there are literally players in the tens. There are multiple players that if a WNBA season doesn't go ahead, will have to work office jobs. And I'm not lying when I say that. There are multiple players that were in rotations in the WNBA last year that if the season doesn't go ahead, will retire from basketball to work an office job. But if the season does go ahead, will walk into 300k a year for the foreseeable. That is a real scenario, and the PA aren't going to let that happen. So there's going to be a season. But at the same time, I say they can't be this dumb. They might be. They really might be. But anyway, I'll see you guys.